Hey, hey, who are you? Wait, let me guess. You are the Statue of Liberty. No. You are King Kong. No. I'm a hot or cold? Not cold. Okay, all right. Can you give me a hint? Oh, okay. This is like gestures. You don't want to tell me your name. You just want to hold your arms up. What is that? A staff in your hand? Oh! I know what it is. It must be. You are making a speech. No. Okay. All right. Arms up. Yes. Nice attire. Oh, I got it. You're probably from the Bible. Wait. You're Moses. You're Moses. Have you been reading this book of Moses? Yes? All right, you can talk, I guess. Can you not talk, Moses?
Maybe.
Oh, you can't? Oh, man. You're like a legendary figure. You're like the best of the best. You're like cool from the Old Testament. Can I shake your hand? Moses, nice to meet you. So nice to meet you. I'm meeting Moses, guys. You're like famous. You know what? We're going through the book of Hebrews right now for Lads the Leaders. And it talks about Moses. Man, you did some cool stuff. Like, did God talk to you through a burning bush? Was that like really cool? Yeah. Hey, that staff is pretty awesome too. Did you go talk to like the what was that? The king of Egypt? What was his name? Fatso?
Pharaoh.
Pharaoh, not Fatso. Didn't you like do some pretty cool stuff like with it? Like, hey, didn't you do the thing, man? Do the thing. You know where you lay it down, it turns into a snake. All right, can you do that? Yeah. If God helps you, He gives you power to do anything. All right, put it down. Oh, I want to see this. Whoa! You did the. I'm scared, man. I'm scared. What is that? That's a snake. That's a snake. Whoa, man, that's pretty awesome.
But we don't need no snakes.
You don't need no snakes. All right, make. Whoa, man, that was some sign. That was like miraculous. Oh, man, I like that. Awesome job, man. Thanks for doing that. That's like being back there with you in front of Pharaoh and seeing all those cool signs and wonders. I just don't send the rest of the plagues, all right? Let's leave those alone. Hey, did you know you're all throughout the Bible? Like, can I show you where I've been reading about you in Hebrews chapter 3? Here. You take a seat real quick. I want to show you something. So we've been reading Hebrews and like how Jesus is like supreme over everything. He is God's son. Like God spoke to the fathers in times past by the prophets. You know what? Were you a prophet? You were, weren't you? God spoke to you and then you did what? You spoke to other people? Man, that's so awesome. That must have been the coolest. But we also see, He tells us, don't neglect salvation in chapter 2. And that Jesus is going to bring many sons to glory. But then He says in chapter 3, in verse 1, He says, therefore, holy brethren, partakers of a heavenly calling, consider the apostles. Wow. You know what an apostle is?
Yes.
Yeah, it's 1 cent, right? Yeah, so we can be 1 cent, an apostle. But who is our apostle? Let me think. Is Moses our apostle nowadays? No, I don't think so. No. Is Elijah our apostle nowadays? No, who is it? I think it must be Jesus. That's the answer. Jesus is our apostle. And it says He is our high priest of our confession. It gives us the answer right here. Jesus Christ, who was faithful to Him who appointed Him as Moses. There's your name. You must look right here. There's your name. Can you read English or do you know Hebrew? Hebrew? Oh, I thought so. I'm sorry. So there's your name right there in English. That's pretty cool. Moses was also faithful in all his house. You see, you're like a legend. You're faithful. 4, this one being counted worthy of more glory than Moses. You are pretty cool, but you know there's somebody who's even better. That's a theme in Hebrews 2. I wonder who is better. I wonder if it's not Moses anymore. It's not Elijah. It's not John the Baptist. Hey, Sawyer, do you know who's counted more worthy, who's better than Moses? Hey!
God,
that's right, God is. Specifically Jesus. And then it says, inasmuch as who built the house has more honor than the house. Verse 4. Now this is really cool because we know that somebody built everything, right? It says, for indeed every house is built by someone. You know, this house we live in, somebody built it. Moses, somebody built my house. I didn't do it, but somebody did. But it says, but he who built all things is who? God? Yeah. It's God. Hey, I want to show you something. See right there? I've been working on that house right there. I've been building Jenga blocks and seeing how high I can build that house. And I was trying to build it up because I wanted to build the house. Isn't that pretty cool? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, what are you doing, Sawyer? What are you doing? Do you like my house over here? Yeah. You like it real good? Okay. Well, I'm glad you do. Wait, what are you doing? No, what? Oh, man! He messed up my house. I worked long enough, but you know what? That's okay. Houses, smouses, whatever. You know what? Because really what matters is God, who built all things. God builds the house that we're looking forward to. God is the builder, the creator of all things. So when I look outside, I know I didn't build any of that. But you know who did?
God.
God did. You know what? You already have faith in God because you right? You parted the Red Sea. You made the snakes come out of the serpent, or the serpents come out of the rod. And you did all the 10 plagues. Man, you led the people through the wilderness. Was that hard? That was pretty hard, I bet. Man. Hey, did they grumble a lot? Did they complain? Like when y'all walked all day and you didn't get to, they were thirsty and hungry, and did they ask you, Moses, we're hungry? Did they say that? I bet they did. Was that hard? Man, Moses, you are pretty awesome. You are pretty awesome. I am so glad I got to meet you. So, hey, thanks for showing up today. Thanks for coming and showing me that cool trick of how you did the rod and the snake. Hey, Mama don't like snakes. We'll have to try that on her soon, okay? All right, so we'll see you later. Moses, thank you so much for being here. Jesus is more faithful, but you are a great example to us all. Thank you. We'll see you later, okay? Man, that was pretty awesome, guys. Just to see Moses and see what he was able to do and how faithful he was to God. Man, he was one who's going to listen to God and follow God no matter what. And that's what I want you and I to do as well. It gives us a glimpse of Moses being faithful, but one who is more faithful than Moses, God here is saying in chapter 3 of Hebrews, is Jesus. As his son, he was faithful, he was obedient, he was trusting, he was believing in all circumstances because he cares about his house. He cares about you and I. And so he was even faithful enough to go to the cross of Calvary so that we could be forgiven of our sins. But it also reminds us in Hebrews chapter 3, the last part, 7 through verse 19, reminds you and I to be faithful as well. That means we do what God asks of us. We are faithful no matter what. He says in verse 12, beware, red flag, watch out. You need to know this. Beware, brethren, lest any of you would have an evil heart of unbelief in departing from the living God. You see, if we don't believe in God, guess what? We're not going to follow him. We're not going to be faithful. So beware and make sure you don't follow in the footsteps of evil people who have left God and don't follow him. And then he says in verse 16, for all who having heard, they rebelled. The people of Israel, even though Moses came and he did the 10 plagues and he showed and said, look, here's God. After a little bit of time in the wilderness, when they were wandering around in the desert, they wanted to rebel. That means they wanted to leave God. Moses, we're tired of following you. We don't want to do that anymore. And he says, those who heard, they rebelled. And it was not, indeed, was it not all who came out of Egypt? They were all led by Moses? Well, certainly. And they were angry with him. And it wasn't not those who had sinned whose bodies fell in the wilderness. Some of them died out there because they did not follow God wholeheartedly. And it says there in verse 18, and to whom he did not swear that they would not enter his rest, but to those who did not obey. If you don't obey God, you're not going to reap the reward, the promise that he's given to you. So we see that they could not enter because of unbelief or their unfaithfulness, because they did not trust in God. And so what the Hebrew writer in Hebrews chapter 3 is pleading, just as we saw Moses a while ago, to be faithful, not just as Moses was, but to be faithful who is better, just like Christ, our apostle and our high priest. And then he encourages you and I to be faithful. We follow God no matter what. Sometimes that gets hard, doesn't it? Sometimes our friends aren't following God and we think, well, why do we do? Because God asked us to, and He's going to give us a promise and a reward if we are faithful. I want you to remember that word tonight. Remember faithful. Can you say it 5 times real fast? Faithful, 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 faithful. I want you to practice that and remember to be faithful in everything that you do, okay? Y'all have a good night. Y'all remember kids class. I'm glad Moses was with us. Y'all have a good week. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.